GDP has, for the last 20 years or so, grown faster than energy consumption. But by and large, over the last 100 years, when a country goes up in economic growth 4 or 5%, energy use goes up 4 or 5%. So when you read in the paper, China's economy grew last year by 9%, you should say, uh-oh, that means their energy use went up by 9%. There's not enough oil on 3 planets to supply this level of energy to the rest of the world. We have to find other ways to make it. It took millions of years to make all that oil. We're going to use it up in about 200, which, you know, from terms of stewardship, I find kind of amazing. My question is, as I said, anybody got insurance? Okay, so here's the big picture. 80% of Maine's energy comes from oil, and 0% of Maine's oil comes from Maine. So we're wholly dependent on a worldwide commodity we have no control over, and no control over the price. Here's the big idea. It's early in the morning, but I want you to try to think in a whole new way. Let's substitute electricity for oil. Forget about where the electricity comes from for a minute. I'm going to talk about wind. The neat thing about electricity is it can come from any source. It can come from natural gas, it can come from oil, it can come from nuclear, it can come from hydro, it can come from wind, it can come from solar. It can come from a variety of sources. But the point is, let's use electricity where we're now using oil. And the 2 places, one is heat. Remember, 40% of the energy is used for heat. I asked Reed and Reed, which is they're the contractors. This is one of the rotors being lifted. And just to give you an idea of the scale of this, there's a little green dot right here. That's a person. There's a truck. These things are huge. The blades are about 50 yards long. This is about 50 yards, half a football field. This is 260 feet from the base to the top, 260 feet, and then when the blades go on to the tip, when it's all the way up, it's about 400 feet. They're very big. Very big. And that's in order to capture the maximum wind. That's at Roxbury. Anyway, Reed & Reed is the contractor that's building Roxbury. They're based in Woolwich, Maine. They've been in business since 1928. They're road and bridge builders, principally. And one of the objections, people say, well, wind power jobs aren't real, they're temporary. Those temporary construction jobs. And I was talking to Jack Parker, who's the president of Reed & Reed. He said, Angus, we've been doing temporary construction jobs since 1928. That's what we do. And if you think about it, a doctor has a temporary job because he doesn't know who's going to walk in the next day, or she doesn't know, or a restaurant or whatever. Anyway,